Alright, Deadheads, I'm finally getting a chance to record a video. My daughter got real sick, so I've been preoccupied with that over the past couple days. But I got some time now to knock out 2 videos, so let's get right into this. Before we get started, I do want to mention something. One thing I think that's my biggest pet peeve is this stigma with fans that believe that if, one fan likes an episode or a TV show or anything for that matter, and another fan doesn't, automatically they're like enemies. I think that is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Some of my best conversations with fans on this channel are ones where, one fan likes something and another fan doesn't like something, and we could actually, throw our opinions out there. I love those kind of conversations and debates. Those are like the funnest to have, the most interesting, I should say, on YouTube. They are. However, one type of conversation that's just killing communication in the YouTube comments specifically are the fans that say, if I hate this and you like it, you are a piece of shit. I say we just take a step back. It's not that serious. A lot of fans are taking this to be way bigger deal than it is. Have fun with it. If you don't like something, specifically describe in detail what you don't like. We might be able to kick off a good conversation for it. I don't know, I enjoy that type of shit, but let me know what you think down in that comment box. Now, getting started, the first thing right off the bat, I see a lot of people talking about Nick's clothes. Yeah, that is odd how he's still wearing the old man clothes. Me specifically, I didn't read into it too much because I just assumed he doesn't have any clothes. You know what I mean? He doesn't live there. His stuff isn't there. We've seen where he was living in the first episode. I mean, that's the first thing we've seen, So I'm not really worried about that. Most likely it's been 9 days. They obviously washed the old man clothes, so they're clean. Yeah, he could have borrowed clothes off of Travis. However, do they even match up? I mean, if Travis wears a completely different size jeans, that would probably be more uncomfortable. So the clothes thing, I'm not going to harp on that. I don't even care. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. But for those who are like, oh, why don't he put on his own clothes? I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any at that house. He wasn't staying there. The hole in the fence that Madison made, a lot of fans were pissed about that. Knocking on her about making that hole in the fence. I didn't even give it a second thought because they mentioned there was a 6-mile perimeter. Now we're going to get into the whole no walkers around at all and how heavily populated that area is and how a little bit unrealistic that is. However, let's just take a moment and say, there's 6 miles in a complete circle around that entire place where there's nothing living, nothing walking, nothing moving, no, survivors, no, barely any, no walkers, nothing. So I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think a huge herd of walkers is going to breach that 6-mile perimeter, especially with them doing patrols overnight. I don't think it'll happen overnight and instantly. So that hole in the fence, not only that, that's a lottery now. For that herd of walkers to magically find that one little hole in the fence, you know what I'm saying? With the whole perimeter, it would take a buildup of walkers, I believe, on that fence to eventually find that. So I don't think that's going to cause problems, and that's why I personally didn't give it a second thought, because of the perimeter thing. Now, a couple fans are wondering if Liza actually believes she is helping, or if she just went with them because she felt guilty and she wanted to keep an eye on Nick and Mama Salazar. Now, I think it's a combination of both. I think the guilt played a part in it, but more importantly, I think she really thinks she is helping, and that connects with what she was telling Travis in the kitchen in episode 2, I believe, where, if I'm not mistaken, Travis was the one telling her she could do more with her life, she can go out and do this and this and this, and she was the one putting her own brakes on her life, and that's why she said she would have been a doctor by now had she just got off her ass and, did something with her life, and that's something that she can now remedy. You know what I mean? Her son is good. Now, me personally, I put that as a strike against her. She just bounced on her kid. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have done that all day. I would have stayed with my family. However, she figured, all right, you know what? I could go, I can help, and I could come back. Because keep in mind, they've been at this safe zone for 9 days, most likely without incident, because we didn't hear about any incidents whatsoever. So I do not believe Liza thought she was going to be going, because keep in mind, for everyone saying they're taking all those people out there and just killing them, it's not that black and white. Are they killing some people? Probably, but they're not doing that. When they were talking about the behind the scenes for episode 4, they actually let out twice. They mentioned that the reason they're taking these people is the fact that they know, the military knows, that no matter how you die, you turn. So they're taking everybody who's even just a little bit of a risk, of a hazard. That's what they're doing. They're not just grabbing everyone and executing them. And that I'm seeing a lot. A lot of people have problems with that. They're like, oh, the military's just taking them out and just shooting them in the head. I think that's ridiculous, because if they were going to just shoot them in the face, they would have just walked into that house and shot them in the face. That family's unarmed. What are they going to do? Claw them? You know what I'm saying? Then they would just shoot them too. So, and then I know people are saying they're doing experiments and this and that. And yeah, they could be, you know, monitoring the virus and watching it. I do not believe it's going to be like experiments for a cure. They might have something set up like that, but I don't think they're going to go in that direction. A lot of fans want to know if Maddie took the gun. Me personally, I feel like she should have. I don't think she did though. I think that is a strike against her. Forget the fence. The bitch should have took the gun. Let's be honest. She most likely didn't take the gun because she was afraid of contaminants being on it. I don't know. Maybe she was like, I better not touch it. I don't know. What if there's like the virus on the gun? How does that work? She might have been processing it like that. However, I still would have took the gun. I would have found something to grab the gun, take it home, wipe it down, throw, you know, alcohol on it. I don't know. Whatever makes you feel better. But I would have took the gun. That was stupid. We don't even know if there was any bullets. She could have a gun with no bullets, and then she's back to square one. Then she got to go find bullets. But either or, she should have took the gun. A couple fans actually brought up the point that there's no FEMA camps in Fear the Walking Dead, but we see them in The Walking Dead. And they bring up this point, and they actually knock Fear the Walking Dead. A couple people saying it's not consistent to the original series. That I do strongly disagree with, because if you look at where our characters in The Walking Dead, if you look at where they went, everywhere where they went, how many times did they run into a FEMA camp? Now, my point is, FEMA camps are not located in every inch of the area, in every neighborhood. They have these safe zones. They most likely did not put a FEMA camp outside of the safe zone. Just because we didn't see that, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean they're not there. We didn't even get a good look at outside the perimeter. We only seen Madison go a little bit out of the way of the fence. She didn't go, you know, on a whole journey, going all around, running into FEMA camps. The FEMA camps aren't going to be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with that at all as far as being inconsistent. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the population and no walkers being in that perimeter. Yes, that is a little difficult to believe. Absolutely. However, just because she herself did not run into any walkers in that area doesn't mean there aren't some that are getting into the 6-mile radius. There has to be some coming in here and there in little clusters. Either one just randomly walking, because you got people everywhere just dying and turning and walking around as walkers now. There has to be some floating around and wandering around. So I think she just didn't run into them out there, but there are some breaching the perimeter. There's gotta be. So yeah, that's another way to look at it. But again, I'm flexible on that. If you want to call it bullshit, she specifically should have seen one, then alright. But then again, keep in mind, they're doing patrols, it looks like, around the safe zone, which makes sense, because why have a safe zone if you're not going to keep it safe? So she probably needs to venture out farther in order to see more walkers. I just think that would make a sense. But yeah, we probably would see some traveling walkers. So again, I'm flexible on that one, but that's how I view it. I just think she didn't run into any. It's just that simple. And there are some out there. There has to be. There's just, the population's too dense for no walkers. All right, Deadheads, listen, that's my thoughts on those topics. Those were the ones I seen over and over again where people were commenting. Those were the ones I seen the most. I could have missed a few here and there. But listen, put your thoughts and opinions about these topics specifically, or anything else we didn't talk about in this video. Put those down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.